Stop scrolling. Stop what you're doing. And listen to me very carefully. You could have a silent fortune sitting in your pocket right now, and you're about to spend it on coffee. Do not spend these coins. I'm serious. These old dimes, they look normal. They look dirty. They look small. But these coins equal hidden wealth, worth serious money. Today, we're exposing the top 4 most valuable ultra-rare Roosevelt dime and Mercury dime coins that collectors are fighting over in real auctions. Nobody talks about these. Secret collectors want them. Some tiny detail makes these rare. These dirty old coins shock people when they realize they were holding a fortune. Each coin gets bigger, rarer, and more shocking than the last. Stay till the end, because what comes last changes everything. Rare US coins alert. Check your pocket now. Do not spend these coins. Now let's talk about the first hidden treasure coin that people are accidentally losing every single day. First coin number 1. The 2005 Roosevelt dime with the P mint mark. Very fine condition. Silver-brown spats. And yes, this is not fiction. Most people see a 2005 dime and think nothing. They think modern. They think pocket change. They think 10 cents. That right there is the mistake. Because this coin, this specific 2005 with P Roosevelt dime, is a silent fortune hiding in plain sight. And if you ignore this detail, you could literally be spending life-changing wealth without even knowing it. Let's go back to 2005. America was in a strange financial mood. The early 2000s had already shaken confidence. Economic pressure was building quietly under the surface. The US Mint was producing massive volumes of coins for circulation, machines running non-stop, high-speed production, heavy dies, striking planchets under stress. When production is rushed, when equipment is pushed, that's when strange things happen. That's when rare coins are born. On the front of this dime, you see President Franklin D. Roosevelt, strong profile, facing left, calm but powerful. The word liberty pressed beside him. In God we trust. The date, 2005, and that tiny P mint mark from Philadelphia. That little letter is everything. That small detail changes everything. Flip it over. The torch in the center. Olive branch on one side. Oak branch on the other. United States of America wrapped around it. One dime at the bottom. It looks ordinary. It feels ordinary. It's small, about 17.9 millimeters across. Thin, around 1.35 millimeters thick. Light in the hand, about 2.27 grams. But presence, oh, it has presence. Especially when you see the surface. This specific rare example carries silver-brown spats across the surface. Not bright, not shiny, not cleaned. And listen to me carefully right here. Never clean this coin. Never polish it. Original toning matters. That brownish antique look, that's history talking. That's authenticity. The second you clean it, you destroy the quiet wealth inside it. Now here's where it gets serious. Most 2005 dimes are copper-nickel clad. But under certain minting irregularities, transitional errors, and rare die conditions created pieces that came out wrong. Wrong metal mix, wrong strike pressure, wrong planchet. And when that happens, collectors wake up. Survival is rare because nobody checks 2005 dimes. People check 1964, people check Mercury dimes from the 1940 cess. Nobody checks 2005, so these coins get spent, thrown in jars, lost in couches, damaged, cleaned, destroyed, That's why a very fine original example surviving with natural surfaces is dangerous to ignore. Collectors obsess over tiny details. The sharpness of Roosevelt's hair, the crispness of the torch lines, the clarity of the P mint mark. Even micro-doubling strike sharpness, edge color. They tilt it under light. They look for unusual luster breaks. They check if the edge shows a strange silver glow instead of the normal copper stripe. This is not fiction. This is real auction behavior. And when one of these rare error or special strike 2005 with P dimes hits the market, bidding is quiet at first. Then aggressive, then intense, because serious collectors know supply is shrinking. Many are locked away in private collections. Held, not sold. Demand rising. Supply disappearing. In today's market, one of these rare examples has reached $218,000. Let that sink in. For a dime, that's not pocket change. That's hidden treasure. That's silent fortune. That's serious money sitting in something people drop on the ground. Do not spend this coin. I'm warning you. Check your change. Look at every 2005 with P dime carefully. Check the surfaces. Check the weight feel. If something looks unusual, if the color looks slightly off, if the strike looks different, stop. Do not clean it. Do not improve it. Send it for professional grading. Professional grading is critical. Authentication separates 10 cents from life-changing wealth. And be patient. Patience is golden in this world. Rushing to sell raw coins, cleaning them, mishandling them, that destroys value. Originality is everything. Even very fine circulated condition can carry power if untouched. This coin is special because nobody expects it. Dirty coins? Yes. Dirty old coins shock people the most. Because hidden treasure doesn't always shine. Stay till the end, because what comes next is even bigger. The next coin isn't just modern surprise. It's a piece of American history born under national pressure, and collectors are fighting harder for it than ever. And trust me, if you thought this dime was dangerous to ignore, the next one is on a whole different level. Next coin number 2. All right, now we're stepping into dangerous territory. This is the coin people walk past. The coin people toss into tip jars. The coin people drop in parking lots and never look back at. And that right there is why this is a hidden treasure. The 1941 Mercury dime. No mint mark. Very fine condition. Silver. Quiet. Underestimated. And absolutely explosive. Do not spend this coin. Let me take you back to 1941. America was standing on the edge of war. Tension everywhere. The economy was shifting fast. Factories were preparing. Metal demand was rising. The country was about to enter World War II. That kind of national pressure changes everything, including coins. Mints were running hard. Equipment was pushed. Dies wore down faster. Subtle variations happened. And in years like that, rare survivors are born. When you look at this dime, the first thing you see is freedom. Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap. Most people call it the Mercury dime, but that winged design represents freedom of thought. Designed by Adolf Weinman. And the detail, when it's still visible in very fine condition, it's powerful. You can still see hair separation. The wing lines are clear. Liberty curves around the rim. In God we trust rests beside her. The date 1941 sits there quietly, almost innocent. Flip it over, and you see the fasces, the bundle of rods with an axe, symbolizing unity and strength. An olive branch wraps beside it. United States of America. One dime. It feels solid. It feels serious. And here's the part most people ignore. This coin is 90% silver, 10% copper. It has weight, about 2.5 grams, around 17.9 millimeters across, roughly 1.35 millimeters thick. Small but dense. When you hold it, it feels different from modern dimes. There's a softness to the silver, a presence, a quiet authority. Now listen carefully. This one has no mint mark. That means it was struck in Philadelphia. And in 1941, Philadelphia was producing massive numbers. But here's where collectors get obsessed. Strike sharpness, die state, micro details in the bands on the fasces, the separation lines, the crispness of Liberty's hair, the exact texture of the fields. Small variations under wartime production pressure created pieces that stand apart. Very fine condition is powerful here. Why? Because most of these were heavily circulated during wartime. They were used, abused, melted later for silver, lost, damaged, cleaned, destroyed. Survival with original surfaces is rare. And let me warn you right now, never clean this coin. I don't care if it looks dark. I don't care if it looks dull. That gray tone, that light silver fade, that antique surface, that is value. The second you polish it, you erase history. You erase collector demand. You erase serious money. Collectors don't want shiny mistakes. They want originality. They want untouched surfaces. They want natural toning. They tilt it under light, looking for luster, hiding in protected areas. They check the bands on the fasces. Full separation, that changes everything. Even in circulated grades, strong detail can ignite bidding wars. And yes, real auctions get intense. Quiet at first. Then two collectors lock eyes on the same coin. Bids jump. Fast. Because demand is rising. Supply is shrinking. Many serious collectors are holding their best examples and not selling. That tightens the market even more. This is not fiction. A rare high-demand example of the 1941 with no mint-mark Mercury dime in very fine condition has reached $152,000 in today's market. Let that hit you. For a dime, that's not pocket change. That's silent fortune. That's hidden wealth. That's life-changing opportunity sitting in a coin jar somewhere. And here's the scary part. People are still spending them. They see 1941 and think it's old but common. They don't look at the details. They don't examine the bands. They don't check surface originality. They don't understand that condition and strike quality separate 10 cents from serious money. Do not spend this coin. If you find one, handle it carefully. Hold it by the edges. Never wipe it. Never dip it. Never try to improve it. Get it professionally graded. Professional grading is critical because authentication is everything at this level. One small cleaning hairline can destroy thousands in value. Patience is golden in this game. Rushing to sell raw coins cheaply is how hidden treasure disappears. Study the details. Compare strike sharpness. Look at Liberty's hair. Look at the fasces bands. This detail changes everything. And stay with me, because what comes next is even bigger. If you think a 1941 Mercury dime is powerful, the next coin on this list was born under even greater pressure, and collectors are fighting even harder for it. And the shocking part? People are still spending it like it's nothing. Next coin, number 3. Now this is where people make the biggest mistake. Because this coin doesn't look impressive. It looks tired. It looks worn. It looks old and bad condition. And that right there is why people are accidentally losing a hidden big treasure without even blinking. The 1939 Mercury dime. No mint mark. Philadelphia struck. And I need you to hear me clearly right now. Do not spend this coin. Let's go back to 1939. The world was shifting. Europe was already sliding into war. America was still officially out, but the pressure was building. The Great Depression scars were still fresh. Industry was moving. Metal demand was rising quietly. The U.S. Mint was pushing production to keep commerce flowing. When a nation is under economic transition, small things change in big ways. Life stretches. Mint workers rush. Quality control slips in subtle ways. And that's when rare coins are born. At first glance, this Mercury dime looks like every other one. On the front, you see Liberty wearing the winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought. The word liberty wrapping around the rim. In God we trust, sitting low beside her neck. The date, 1939 at the bottom. No mint mark. That means Philadelphia. Quiet. Underestimated. Flip it over and you see the facets standing tall, tied rods with an axe blade, strength through unity. The olive branch beside it. United States of America. One dime. Clean design. Bold message. But here's the part that changes everything. This coin is 90% silver. 10% copper. Real silver. It weighs about 2.5 grams. Roughly 17.9 millimeters across. Around 1.35 millimeters thick. Small in size, but heavy with history. When you hold it, even in worn condition, it feels solid. There's density there. There's presence. Old silver has a certain softness, a certain quiet glow, even when it's dull. Now let's talk about that bad condition. Most people think worn equals worthless. That's wrong. In 1939, these coins were heavily used, passed hand to hand during a fragile economy, dropped in cash registers, carried in coat pockets. Many were later melted for silver. Others were cleaned harshly by people who thought shiny meant valuable. Survival in original, untouched state, even if worn, is rare. Collectors look past the wear. They look at what survived. They study the bands on the facets. Even partial separation can matter. They examine Liberty's hair detail. They look for original grey surfaces, natural patina, honest circulation. If the coin has not been cleaned, not been polished, not been damaged with chemicals, that originality becomes powerful. Let me warn you clearly. Never clean this coin. I don't care how dark it looks. I don't care if it feels dirty. That dark silver tone, that's history. That's value. The second you wipe it, dip it, or scrub it, microscopic scratches destroy collector demand. Original toning matters more than shine. And here's where things get serious. Not all 1939 with no mint mark Mercury dimes are equal. Some were struck with slightly sharper dies before replacement. Some show subtle die characteristics that collectors hunt aggressively. Some survived with stronger details than expected for heavy circulation years. Tiny differences in strike and preservation separate ordinary from extraordinary. Real auctions tell the story. Quiet room. Two experienced collectors notice the same coin. They lean forward. Bidding starts calmly. Then it climbs. Because they both understand something most people don't. Supply is shrinking. Many examples have been lost forever. Others are locked away in collections and not coming back to market. Demand continues to rise. And yes, in today's market, a rare high-demand example of the 1939 Mercury dime without mint mark, even described as old and worn, but original and desirable, has reached $175,000. That's not pocket change. That's silent fortune. That's hidden wealth sitting in something people throw into junk silver bags. Do not spend this coin. Check every 1939 dime. You see? Look carefully for the missing mint mark under the date area. Philadelphia issues have none. Examine the surfaces. Are they natural? Is the wear even and honest? Do you see cleaning scratches? If yes, value drops fast. Condition matters, but originality matters more. Professional grading is critical at this level. Authentication separates a common circulated silver dime from a life-changing opportunity. Hold it by the edges only. Store it safely. Patience is golden. Rushing to sell raw coins to the first buyer you find is how serious money disappears. This is not fiction. People are still spending 1939 Mercury dimes like they're nothing more than old silver. They don't realize that certain survivors carry hidden treasure energy. They don't realize collectors are actively searching. They don't realize they might be holding quiet wealth. Stay with me, because if you think a worn 1939 Mercury dime is shocking, the next coin on this list is even rarer, even more aggressive in auction rooms, and even more dangerous to ignore. And trust me, the final one, that one changes everything. Next coin, number 4. Now this is wartime silver. This is pressure. This is history. This is the kind of coin people overlook because it looks worn, grey, even a little brown. And that is exactly why it's a hidden big treasure. The 1943 Mercury dime. With the D mint mark. Denver. Very good condition. Grey and brown shade. And I need you to hear this clearly. Do not spend this coin. 1943 was not a normal year. America was fully in World War II. Factories were roaring. Metal was strategic. Resources were tight. The nation was focused on survival and victory. The U.S. Mint was operating under stress, pushing production while the country demanded silver, copper, and nickel for the war effort. Every coin struck that year carries the tension of a world at war. When you look at the front of this dime, you see liberty with the winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought. But in 1943, that symbol meant something deeper. Freedom wasn't just an idea. It was being fought for. The word liberty curves around the edge. In God We Trust sits beside her profile. The date, 1943 at the bottom. And this time, a small but powerful D mint mark on the reverse side, marking its origin in Denver. Flip it over and you see the fasces, that bundle of rods tied tight, axe blade visible, symbol of unity and strength. An olive branch rests beside it. United States of America. 1 dime. Simple, bold, serious, and even in very good condition, worn down from circulation, this coin still carries weight. About 2.5 grams, roughly 17.9 millimeters in diameter, around 1.35 millimeters thick. Small, yes, but dense. 90% silver, 10% copper. Real wartime silver. When you hold it, even with wear smoothing the high points, there's a gravity to it. A quiet presence modern coins don't have. Now here's where it gets serious. Very good condition means this coin lived a life. It moved through wartime America. It passed through hands buying rationed goods, groceries, train tickets. It survived decades. Many 1,943 dimes were melted later for their silver content. Others were cleaned by people who didn't understand what they were holding. Survival with original grey and brown toning is powerful. That grey and brown shade, that's not dirt. That's natural aging. That's silver reacting slowly over time. That's authenticity. And listen carefully, never clean this coin. Never polish it. Never dip it. That antique surface is what collectors crave. The second you try to make it shiny, you destroy microscopic layers that prove originality. Original toning matters more than brightness. The D mint mark is critical here. Denver's production during wartime came with its own die characteristics. Slight differences in strike sharpness. Subtle die wear patterns. Collectors study the facets bands closely. Even in worn condition, partial band definition can change desirability. They examine Liberty's hair detail. They check the fields for harsh cleaning marks. Tiny details separate ordinary from extraordinary. And here's what most people don't understand. Even though millions were struck, far fewer survived in desirable original condition. Circulated examples were heavily used. Some were bent. Some were damaged. Some were melted. Supply shrinks every decade. Meanwhile, demand grows. Serious collectors are building complete wartime sets. They want strong examples from 1943 Denver. They compete quietly but aggressively. Real auction rooms tell the truth. A 1943 with D Mercury dime, with strong eye appeal, original grey-brown surfaces, and desirable characteristics, hits the block. Bidding starts steady. Then two determined collectors push it higher, because they know opportunities don't come often. They know once it disappears into a collection, it may not return for years. In today's market, a rare high-demand example of this 1943 with D Mercury dime in very good condition has reached $146,000. That's not small money. That's serious money. That's hidden wealth hiding in something people still toss into junk silver piles. Do not spend this coin. Check every 1943 dime you find. Look for that small D mint mark on the reverse. Examine the color. Is it natural gray and brown, or does it look unnaturally bright? Bright often means cleaned, and cleaned means value destroyed. Hold it by the edges only. Protect the surface. Professional grading is critical at this level. Authentication gives confidence. Confidence drives bidding. Bidding drives serious money. Patience is golden. Don't rush. Don't assume worn equals worthless. In this world, originality beats shine. History beats polish. This is not fiction. These coins are out there. In old jars. In inherited collections. In forgotten drawers. People are accidentally losing them every day because they don't recognize what they're holding. And now think about this. We just went through 4 Mercury and Roosevelt dimes that look small, look ordinary, look worn, and yet together they represent silent fortune, hidden treasure, life-changing opportunity. How many are still out there? How many are sitting in pockets right now? Before you spend another dime, check it. Before you ignore a grey old coin, look again. Because rare US coins are not always shiny. They're quiet. They're subtle. They hide in plain sight. If this opened your eyes, you're not ready for what's coming next on this channel. There are coins out there worth even more. Coins people are spending today. Coins that could change everything. So stay with EagleCoins. Watch the next video. And remember, do not spend these coins.